Hey everybody, Mark from Northeast Bass Fishing. How's it going? Haven't been on in a while. First of all, I've been away a lot. I was away for about 11 days. I was at my mom's over in Sagandaga for a few days for her birthday. Then I went to fishing camp on Candlewood and had a tournament in between that on the Hudson, and got back, and I've only fished one time since then. I think I was fished out for a little while. But I just power washed the boat today. I had to take it down to Reynolds. But I'll get into that story when I talk about the tournament on the Hudson River. So we had our tournament on the Hudson River a few weeks ago. I forget the date exactly. I can actually look it up if you guys really care. But that was our June tournament. I believe it was opening weekend. Let me just double check. Yeah, it was the 18th, I believe. Yeah, not that it really matters. But it was like the first, I guess was considered opening weekend there in New York. But we had our club tournament on the Hudson River, and it was tough as always. Now, I am no Hudson River expert by any means. I choose not to fish there most of the time. But amazingly, I finished fourth in the tournament, and I had two keepers. But on any other lake, I would have had a limit, but on the Hudson, it's a 15-inch minimum. So the bass you catch, their weigh in have to be 15 inches or bigger. So here's how the tournament went for me. My partner John and I, originally I was supposed to fish alone. Then we, had some guys switch around, and then luckily I got to fish with John. We fished together a few times before, and so I had somebody to talk to on the Hudson, which can be a little slow. So I think we started the morning. We launched, and then we fished in Catskill Creek in the morning, and there was really nothing going on for us there. Had some, trying to remember, had some, some small fish, and some fish followed the fluke, but nothing in the boat. So we decided to go out in the river and kind of bop around. And we haven't had a tournament there in June when I was in Bergen ever. So areas I wanted to fish, like there was a few docks I always liked to fish that I couldn't even really get to because the chestnuts were so thick. I'm used to being there in October, so I guess they've kind of died off by then. But they were, everywhere. There was one big dock that I always liked to go flip a few times. I could barely get to it because the chestnuts were just surrounding the whole dock. I did get in there and get a few flips in, but nothing. But finally, I got a bite, flipping a jig, and I actually wound up losing the jig later. But this was the skirt I was using. This is like a black with a chartreuse, and it's got some like gold flake on there, if you guys can see that. But I happened to, I had one of them, and I wound up eventually losing it in the rocks. But I'll just show you guys quick. I'm going to make another one, since in my box I don't have any of this anymore. But you guys can see all the different strands in there. And I wanted something for that dirty water in the Hudson that had some dark to it, but it also had that chartreuse, so it would show up in that dark water. So we came to some pilings on the main river. I think it was kind of by the paper factory there, if I remember correctly. And the tide was rising. We started, I think, at total low tide, and the tide was coming up as the day went on. But this is just a half-ounce Arky-style jig head from Lure Parts Online. I'm just going to pop this jig on there, this skirt on there, and make another one of these. Because as I've told you guys in other videos, I just 99% of the time I'm not buying. I'm making my own jigs. I'm not buying store brands. So that's the jig I was throwing right there. I'll show you the one I was using, but it's at the bottom of the Hudson somewhere in some rocks. But I finally, a few hours into the tournament, caught a nice smallie on this in what was the worst boat flip in history. I flipped him into the boat and then out of the boat again and then back in again. Luckily, he was hooked really well. But that was it. I was like, okay, good. I've got a keeper. And just kidding, one fish on the Hudson is huge. But it was a nice big, 18, 20-inch smallie, whatever he was. 2.5 pounder, 2 3/4 pounder. And then I caught another largie there in that same spot that I kept, but as it turned out, he was like 14 7/8. But he didn't make it. But, we do have a courtesy in there. If you have anything that's close, it's worth taking in just to get it checked out. And then I think John caught a smallie there that was short. So we had 3 fish there. So we fished that area for a while. Didn't get anything else. And they kind of started bopping around. And we went and flipped some of the chestnuts, frogged them. You know, there was tons of blow-ups, but it was mostly carp. If any of them were bass, I can't say for sure. I think it was probably 90%, 95% carp that were just spawning in those, because you'd see them swimming. You know, there'd be these huge explosions in the middle of the chestnut field, and then, you know, every now and then you'd see a couple big, huge carp swim by. So I don't think, I mean, there's probably bass in there, but, you know, I think I might have had 1 or 2 kind of blow-ups on my my frog, but I didn't catch any keepers on it. But that's it. So I had 2 bites on this, 1 keeper at this point in the tournament. John had a small fish, and we were just kind of, you know, throwing neds and throwing the jig around when I, you know, could. And we went down to a Sopus, fished that for a little while. Nothing there. I did catch a fish flipping coming into a Sopus. We're just kind of flipping along and I caught one. And actually, that one might have been the one that was the one that turned out to be short. It was a largemouth that might have been like 14 7/8. I think on that first spot, I caught one that was obviously too short, but I did catch 2 there. So I had what I thought at the time was 2 fish, and we kind of fished back and forth in a Sopus and nothing. And the last you know, hour or so, we went over to a suck hole, you know, heading back to the ramp, and started, you know, we started throwing neds in there and catching these little smallies. Finally, I catch one that's a keeper. So now I got 2. It was like a 15 or 16 inch. It was like a 15 and a half, 16 inch smallie. My partner John then caught one. So he had a fish. I had 2. He had 1. And then all of a sudden, my Ultrex, you guys that have Ultrexes, I don't know if it's ever happened to you before. You know, I'm fishing around. All of a sudden, I go to turn left, and my pedal is stuck. It's hard as a rock. It will not move. I thought something rolled under there, a rock or something. Not rock, but something, maybe a bottle of water that I had on the deck, I forgot, or something. But it would just, I'm like, what's going on here? The thing will not move. It's like it pinned. You know, I can go right, but it will not turn left. And so finally, I kind of maneuver this around, and then John said, well, try the remote, because he heard about that problem, I guess, and I tried the remote, and it works fine. So I had to use the remote the last, like, half hour, 45 minutes, and we caught some more smallies there that were, if I didn't have the issue with the trolling motor, and maybe we had 15 or 20 more minutes, we might have got a few more keepers there, because that water was coming up. It seems like those better smallies were coming there, and I was just throwing a Ned, and I was throwing this Tech Ned, and I was throwing that cotton candy color, which is great in dirty water. I mean, I love it for bed fishing, but in dirty water, this color is outstanding. So I caught my second keeper on that, caught a couple of little smallies. So, you know, these are, I say little, these are 14-inch smallies, 13 and 14 smallies that I can't weigh in. So, you know, I don't remember exactly. John might have had 2 or 3. I would have had a limit easy, because I had to throw, you know, fish back. But as it turned out, I had the 2 that were definite keepers, smallmouth, and I had the 1 largie that was close, went back to weigh-ins. As I said, that one didn't count, so I only had 2 fish for around 5 pounds, but I did finish in 4th place. John was first. He had like 9. Chris was second with lunker. I think he is in the 8 range. Andy, he had his close fish that counted, so he was third. Mine wasn't, so I might have had more weight than him if my largie had kept, but whatever. So I got 4th, and I think Frank was 5th. So, but everybody was like 1, 2 fish. About 2 guys didn't catch anything. It's just tough. It's a tough fishery. You know, you guys that know it well, congratulations, because that place to me is very difficult. But I don't go there a lot. I know people that love it, and I see big bags there. But you know, I'm sure those are guys that live up there and fish that a lot and really have it dialed in. I don't. I probably never will, because I just don't go there that often. But when I fish a tournament there and get 1 or 2 keepers, I'm very happy. So yeah, I actually finished in 4th place in the tournament. So I don't know how much money that's going to be. It'll give me a couple of dollars to pay for some gas or something. But that's it. So I was using like a black green, the chartreuse jig, 1/2 ounce, which I wound up losing, and the Tech Ned and the cotton candy. That got me my other. I mean, I wish I threw this more, because the smallies really were going after that cotton candy color in that dirty water. But I was throwing the Ned just on my. Oop, let me turn this around without hitting everything. bite. Okay, that's a disaster. But I was just throwing the net on my Enigma. This is my Enigma. I don't know what this is the Epon that I love. But what is, I just don't remember, because I have 3 of them. This one is the 6'9" medium. Of course, now I got the rod stuck up in another rod up there, so I'm not even going to bother with that one anymore. But that's my Ned rod with the Ardent Sea-Force reel. And then I was just throwing, I wasn't throwing this jig. I was throwing this jig. I did throw this one a little bit too, but I couldn't get a lot of jig bites. This is just a regular flipping stick from, it'll be backwards probably too. This is just a medium heavy, 7.6, medium heavy Ardent flipping stick. And all the rods are banging into each other. And that's why I don't usually show you the rods, because they're a pain in the neck. But those are the 2, of course I had a million things out on the deck. I was throwing spinner baits and chatter baits and anything to try to get a bite. I might even have done some crank, I don't really remember. Because I do catch them on there in a square bill sometimes, but that really wasn't playing out. But it was a hot day, no wind at all. Made the driving around easy on the Hudson, because it can get, gnarly out there. But there was 0 wind, hot day, tough, conditions for mid-June. It's kind of like August fishing, but hey, caught 2 fish and got 4th place, so I will take it. Anytime I catch a fish on that place and get some points, I'll take it. But there's the jig again. Showing you guys this cotton candy Tech Ned. I'm not sure if Eric has the website back up yet. I'm not 100% sure, but you could just message him on Instagram. I'll put the information. You guys have seen other videos where I've showed you the tech baits. Because I'm not sure if the website is open right now, because I knew he was redoing it because he moved. He did relocate to Florida, so he's been busy. But I'm sure if you reach out to him on Instagram after the video, if you've seen it, and say you want some of those cotton candy Tech Neds, he can hook you up. He's probably got them already hanging there in the bait room. But that's it. I wanted to give you guys that little tournament recap, so to speak. Drawing a blank there because I haven't been on in a while, I guess. But like I said, I'm very happy. To get anything on the Hudson is great. So our next tournament is in a couple weeks. It's in July here. I think it's the, let me just double check. Oh, that's June still. Our next tournament is the night tournament, which I just love, on Candlewood Lake. And it's our night tournament. And I think we're going 8 to 6. Unless it turns out we're going till 5:30, which will be fine. I'll have a half hour earlier and get out of there and drive home. Hopefully make it all the way home before I fall asleep. But it's a long 10-hour tournament, or a night tournament. But the way Candlewood was at camp, it was very tough, I thought. Good fish here and there, but overall a lot of little fish. And that was fishing during the day. So I'm kind of hoping at night, which tends to be true, the bite will be much better. Because I personally think, and I think it's kind of common knowledge, that the fish eat at night out there most of the time, especially this time of year. But I think that's when most of their munching goes on. So, we'll be chucking a spinner bait and a rabbit and a chatterbait probably for 10 hours, and my arm will be ready to fall off, and hopefully 5 nice smallies or largies will bite it. But that's the next tournament. I've had good nights on the night tournaments, and I've had lousy ones, where by 2 in the morning I wish I was home in bed. So we'll see. It all depends on how the weather is. Hopefully there isn't any storms. You never know. Sometimes if those thunderstorms come through at night, it gets a little hairy out there. Once the lake finally calms down and the nuts get off the lake that go flying around there at well above 45, things calm down at night. It gets a little more peaceful out there. But you just got to kind of stay awake, and sometimes you get those lulls at night where nothing's going on and you're starting to get a little tired. So hopefully that won't happen. But that's it. So I'll give you guys a report after that. But like I said, Hudson was a good. So 4th place, got me some good points. I think I'm 5th in the Angler of the Year race, which is very close, but the way they do the points, it's close all year long. But like I said, the jig and the Tech Ned, that was pretty much it. I threw everything else, but that's the only thing I got a bite on. But tough lake, or tough river. So, as I said, I'll take 4th there anytime. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You got any questions, let me know. I'll put a description now. As far as the jig goes, this is not, like as I said, this is not a store-bought jig. I make these, I just buy these at Lure Parts online. I think this skirt, it was in this bag, and I think these are all just a bunch of pre-made ones. I think I got these. If you guys are in the Pennsylvania area, Wacky Worm is a great store, and they have, like, you know, the jigs that are already have the bands on them, or jigs, the skirts that already have the bands on them. So when I would go there back in the day when I lived in Jersey, I'd always grab a bunch of skirt colors that I like, and this one I believe was that Wacky Worm in Pennsylvania. So if you've never been there, if you're in that area, it's an awesome fishing store. But I believe that's where I got this from. And I didn't have any, when I went through my boxes, I was like, oh, I don't have any more of this color that I caught them on the Hudson, so I should make a couple more. So I had one more of these skirts. I only had 2 left, so I don't know when the next time will be a Wacky Worm, but if they still have that style, I'll pick it up. But like I said, I just get these at Lure Parts online. And I put rattles on there and get all them. It's my rattle bag. See, I get some at Netcraft. Some of these are just from Lure Parts or wherever, fishing skirts online. But anywhere that anybody that sells jigs, you know, I always like the Arky style. But that's a half ouncer. But and then the TechNet, I'll give you the link for that and my discount code that you can use if you're going to order. That's it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed the video. This turned out to be a 16-minute video. I thought it was going to be about a 6-minute video. I did get a small order a while ago from Land Big Fish a while ago. I think that might have been their Memorial Day sale, but I haven't even, that stuff's still even in there. But I'll do a separate video on that, so this video doesn't go up for an hour. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, any questions, you know, let me know. Don't ask me how to fish the Hudson, because I have no clue. But there are big fish in there, if you can find them. But good luck to you, because I can't. But I'll see you guys soon on YouTube. Mark out.